Amanda, can you tell me when you very first thought that you might like to work in design?
Well, probably school, but only because art was my passion. And that was what I was good at school, and it didn't involve a lot of studying. So I applied to art college, and when I got in, on the application form, it had asked, what did you see yourself being in 4 years' time? And I didn't know. And anyway, for some reason, I put interior design down. And then when I went to college and started, I thought I was doing the general year and found I'd been enrolled straight into interior design. So it was kind of chosen for me in a way.
With your work with Ken, what would you say was a really signature project for you both?
Probably the first hotel. We did some bars and restaurants up till that point, but then Ken had always wanted to go back to hotels. He had started, obviously, his career in hotels. And we had the opportunity of getting One Devonshire Gardens. Mm-hmm. And that was the first one, and probably the most significant, because it kind of launched both our careers back into the hotel world.
And you worked with Ken throughout your whole career. What did that creative partnership look like?
Well, it worked so well because his glass is always half full and mine was always half empty. So I would bring him down when he was up too high, and he would always bring me up. And it just was a great partnership, and we were on the same wavelengths.
And you worked for Ken right at that point of graduation, is that right?
Yes, it was always fun. It was a bit crazy at times. And then after we'd opened Devonshire, he really wanted to concentrate on getting that successful and running. So I sort of set up my practice on my own, but we always worked together.
And in business, you had to make a pivot in your position within the hospitality sector from sort of high-end luxury into an offering for a wider target audience.
Yes, well, that came about because we wanted to do more hotels like Devonshire Gardens, mm-hmm. and we were in a recession and we weren't going to get the funding to do that. So Ken felt, he always was one to say, if I'm banging my head against a brick wall, let's move the wall. And he went back and came back from London absolutely, distraught one day and said, that's it, let's change our thoughts. And he said, there's so many buildings in Glasgow here that are empty buildings. There was a lot of empty buildings. He says, let's take some unusual buildings and create something half the price of Devonshire. And we can still give value for money, style. Doesn't cost an awful lot. It won't cost the client anymore, but they'll get style. And that was how Malmaison was conceived and born. And
thinking ahead, is there something that you would like the next generation of designers to take away from the work that you and Ken did together?
With Ken and I, he was operations, I was design. Mm-hmm. And I think it became very obvious early on to me that it wasn't all about design. That design is wonderful, and if you've got a wonderful interior, that's fantastic. But if the service and the music and the food and the coffee's not good, it was always, Ken would say, it's the sum of many small things correctly done. And it takes the pressure away a little bit from you that it's the whole thing. It's not just design.